We are going to get into baseball for beginners. And one of the first things we think you ought to know if you're introducing baseball to a new fan or a person in your life is you ought to know the positions. So we're going to go through and we're going to name them. Then we're going to show you where they are on the field. And then we're going to tell you how the number sequencing works in baseball. It's for scorecard keeping, but it's also good to know when you're watching TV and listening on the radio. So we have the pitcher and the catcher. Okay. First base, second base, third base, shortstop. Then we have left field, center field, and right field. Those are the 9 positions that make up the players on the baseball field at any given time. That is the defense. Offense stands at the plate and tries to hit the ball. Defense puts the ball in play with the pitcher throwing to the catcher. Here's a graphic for those of you watching just to give you an idea of where these position players typically find themselves arrayed around the field. We've got the pitcher there in the center of the diamond. That's represented by the star. The catcher is the wider star at or behind home plate on this graphic. We've got 4 circles on the infield representing moving counterclockwise. First base, second base, third base, or shortstop, and then third base. And then if we're going to move clockwise through the outfield, we start the left side is left field, center field is in the middle, right field is toward the right in this graphic on the bottom.
Now, something that I know can be difficult for new fans especially, and I see this all the time with kids who are getting introduced to the game, is they get confused between left field and right field, because when you're standing on the field, left field is on your right side, right field is on your left side, right? But it's all based on what the batter sees. If the batter is hitting the ball to left field, they're hitting it to the batter's left. So the batter's standing on home plate, left field goes out to the batter's left, right field goes out to the batter's right. And so everything is based off of that perspective, and that's why you get left field where it is. And I think that the confusion is absolutely understandable as well.
It is understandable for sure.
100%.
But if you orient yourself at the plate, then you get left and right. Third base is down the left field line toward left field. First base is up the right field line toward right field. That's how that works. Okay.
Right. So let's talk about how these positions
are
are numbered, because what you're going to see a lot of times is, like, if you're looking at a scorecard, you look at your team's starting lineup, you're going to see everybody's name and their position, where they're batting in the order. And sometimes they'll show RF for right field, CF for center field, 1B for first base, everything like that. But sometimes they'll show numbers. And so this is where this comes into play with the numbers. So the pitcher is 1, the catcher is 2, the first baseman is 3, second baseman is 4, third base is 5, and then shortstop is 6. That's your entire infield. It's odd that it can be tough to keep track of as you go from second base to third base, 4 to 5, and then shortstop 6. But that's just the way it's numbered, is the bases, and then the shortstop is a little bit of a rover there on the left side of the infield. And then you've got left field is 7, center field is 8, right field is 9. And so what you'll hear sometimes on the radio or on TV, sometimes you hear a guy on a ground ball to third base, where the third baseman throws the ball to first base to get the out. You'll hear 5-3 put out. That's because it's position 5 throwing the ball to position 3 to get the out at first base. And so that's where that comes from. That's why you'll hear that sometimes. And that's where the numbering system comes into play a lot of times too.
The other thing that you'll hear, this sequence happens a lot, and it's very exciting. So you hear on the radio or on television a 6-4-3 double play. That means that the batter at the home plate put the ball into play. It went to the shortstop, number 6. That number 6 player threw the ball to the number 4 player at second base, who then threw the ball to the number 3 position player at first base. And by doing so, they get 2 runners out at the same time in the same play. And that's a 6. When you hear 6-4-3, that's what that means. The 6th position player threw it to the 4th position player, who threw it to position number 3.
And sometimes what you'll see too is probably people wearing t-shirts, 6 + 4 + 3 = 2.
Equals 2.
That's where that comes from.
Now
For
you know
those
why.
of you who don't know, and now you do.